50 games plus now for Jason Robinson. Experienced of the two in this one. And the boys are in a good mood by the looks of things. They're underway. Luke Burr supplies the kickoff. It'll bounce down to Wade Graham. He'll give it to Josh Cordoba, who all but lost it on play number one. The former Eel only just hanging on to it. Hit pretty well in the end to knock it on the first few seconds of the game. Here is Matthew Wright. The play just outside the 20 for Cronulla. They work it forward through Luke Douglas, playing game number 132 tonight consecutively. Good run by Talima Tautai, another of the former Eels in this side here tonight. Porter, kick his own side of halfway. It'll hit the turf and then bounce up to be taken there by Jordan Atkins, who will bring it back out towards the 20 for the Eels after a nervous opening play. A solid set of 6 from the Sharks to get this one underway. Chris Walker.
Yeah, one part of the Sharks game that does improve having Scott Porter out there is the kicking game. A terrific kicker of the football. He found ground then. The back three will have plenty of work to do from the Parramatta Eels.
They have it just inside their 30. Play it there through Loco. Here is Shackleton. Certainly warmed into this season. The longer it has gone, of course, in return for a serious leg injury last year. Play it here for Hayne. Newly shaved head at dummy half, and he feeds it. Goes away. The kick from Casey McGuire, and coming onto it, Isaac Gordon made a nice catch. He had some territory to cover. He brings it back out just beyond the 30. With a bit of tape, you can see just poking below the shorts there on his left thigh. The club said for the kickoff tonight he has the worst cork they've ever seen as far as bruising goes, but it hasn't affected him as far as his preparation for this game here tonight.
No, I like the way that he attacked that football. In the back three, they need to be catching the balls on the full to limit the metres of the opposition. Anthony Tupou, he needs to have a big game tonight for this Sharks outfit. No Snowden, no Gallant. They'll look to their experienced players as Douglas once again carries the ball over the advantage line.
Well, one more play just from 35 metres away. The second set of 6 in the game. Porter puts it up. Plenty of height on the bomb. Bird standing underneath it. So is Jared Hayne, who made a very nice catch under some pressure there from Pomeroy, who gives away a penalty.
You flopped in and you pulled his leg, slowing it down.
A leg pull and a flop, according to Jason Robinson, and the Eels will get the chance to kick the line.
It'll be interesting to see how Jared Hayne approaches this game. There was some criticism through the week about his positional play, in particular defence. No try-saving tackles from the Eels fullback this year yet. Watch him on the return of the kick, see if he gets himself in good position.
I also think with Jared Hayne, it's about his position when the team has the football. So his support play, presenting himself in the line. He needs to work a little bit harder on working for others.
Ben Smith looking for a fast play with ball. Now Mitchell getting out of dummy half, going across to McGuire. Here's Hayne putting a step on Porter. The defence on that right-hand side with Wade Graham, the 5'8", back on the left-hand side of the Sharks defensive line. Moi. Spoke about his carries and his metres, which have been good so far this season, but he hasn't had quite the same tackle-busting prowess that he's shown in recent seasons. Now they play it. The last, they'll kick through Robson. Down a narrow short side. It'll bounce into touch. Gordon was making sure of that. He was perched over the line with a foot either side of it. And the Sharks will have the scrum feed 10 out from their own line. Just a kick for position. No thought of putting on something of an attacking nature.
Yeah, an
interesting
type of kick there. I thought they may have elected to put the ball in the air and try and test Isaac Gordon out early in the contest. But instead they've elected to just find touch, slow things down.
Wait for the ball.
I don't see any point in that sort of kick at this stage of the game. We're not even 5 minutes into the game. You're 40 metres out. You've got to put some pressure on the defence. Isaac Gordon doesn't play fullback all the time. You'd want to test him out early. There was a perfect position there for Jeff Robson just to throw it up, get his blindside chase to go through and put some pressure on.
There's Morris from dummy half going across to Tautai. Work it up towards the 40-metre line, grabbed there by Hindmarsh, Mitchell, and also Shackleton, who were too slow getting off him. Shackleton, the last of the players to leave the tackle. He was too slow in doing so, according to the referee. Great job turning him on to his back, but he just tried to slow him down with the hands on the back there, and the referee said, Shane, you've gone too far.
Well, you really need to test the referees out early in a game to see what they are going to allow in terms of holding down. And Jason Robinson there on that occasion was having nothing of it.
It's Cordoba. Working inside the Parramatta 40. We'll play it here for Morris. For Graham, the left-hand side. There is Douglas, though, taking it forward for a good carry. Picked up plenty of metres right there. Played the ball, wasn't a slow one either. Speed from the Sharks in attacking this set of 6 so far. Good defence, though. Jacob Loco coming up and shutting down Isaac Gordon in a hurry. Nice hands from Ben Pomeroy. To reach behind him. Now he offloads as well. Gives it back to Gordon, who had Talima Tautai coming with him. He was almost able to get away there from Mitchell. He had some help from Moy and Shackleton. A good thing as well. Douglas digs for the line, but then flings the ball out the back. He throws it straight to Jared Hayne.
Scrum out here, boys.
Well, he's looking to get heavily involved. Luke Douglas, he's carried the ball strongly already tonight. You don't usually associate offloads in Luke Douglas's game. Here he is charging at the line, going to ground, flicking it out the back. Jared Hayne was there to clean up. Good start from the Sharks. I think one of the reasons the Sharks have been successful against Parramatta over the last few years is the fact that they've had a lot of ex-players in their team.
Hang on.
The Sharks
Let's go,
have
Cronulla.
recruited heavily from the Parramatta's
Heads in, boys, heads in.
district, and a lot of their ex-players like to perform well against their former club.
They met twice last season, and the Sharks beat them twice in 2010. Here's Moy working it up. What a strong tackle made by Jason Bakuya. Hit him around the chest and drove him sidewards and backwards. Just outside their 20. 10 in from the touchline halfway through this set of 6. And the Sharks picking up defensively from where they left off last week against the Roosters. Good opening to this one. Mitchell feeds it. It goes across to Hayne now. Now Ben Smith. Good ball. He got it on to Chris Walker, who stumbled awkwardly as he came to the halfway line. He gets up to go again. Hayne gives it to Atkins, who can fly. But he's grabbed there by Tupou and also Gordon. Nice play. They've got one left right here. They go to the left-hand side. They come back to the short side. I can't imagine what they were thinking right there.
Casey Maguire looked to his outside, then back to Jared Hayne down the short side. It was a tough one to take. Hayne could only get a hand on it and couldn't drag it in. Nice play, though, by the Eels. Caught the Sharks line, really compressed at that end. Hayne, beautiful pass there to Chris Walker. Walker bounced to his feet. Back to Hayne. And he can go, Atkins, but didn't have the space. Stayed in, did a good job to stay in.
So they survive the scare. Now a wild pass from John Morris. Luckily, Bakuya gets back there to clean it up under some pressure from Casey Maguire. Now Pomeroy behind Marsh. Spins into the ground. Porter feed it back towards the midfield for Cordoba to take it up to the 40. Last play here for the Sharks. It's not going to be Porter kicking. It's going to be Graham with that left boot of his, and he also has a good one. And the kick be taken by Jared Hayne just outside his own goal line. Good chase by the Sharks. Graham on his own kick was coming down to look to make an impact, and he pulled out of it, and probably a good thing as well.
I like the enthusiasm, though, of Wade Graham, the way that he launches himself in defence. He can slip upstairs occasionally, but he's trying to inspire his team. One of the best ways, as you can see him there, just attacking the football. Jared Hayne having a high carry, but one of the ways to limit Hayne's involvement is to dominate where you give him the football. And if you can give him the football coming off their own line, they'll have less of an impact on the game of football.
Last tackle for Hayne. Put it high in the air again. Gordon will have to come forward. In fact, he won't get anywhere near it. Neither will Stuart Mills. It bounces back to the Eels. Chris Walker now puts a kick in. I have some doubts about Atkins being onside, and as a result, Gordon has to take it dead. I got away with one there because Jordan Atkins looked to be in front of Chris Walker when he put the kick in.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. If it had have gone upstairs, if Atkins had been able to get to the ball first, I've got no doubt the video referee would have disallowed it because he was offside. There was a good flick out here by Robson, I think it was, that caught the ball just over the top of Anthony Tupou. Well, maybe not as far offside as what we originally thought. But good play by the Eels to keep things alive. The Sharks, they can't do that too many times. Let the ball bounce.
Seconds, mate.
He went up a mile early, didn't he, Stewie Mills? He came down with nothing. And that's an outstanding drop out.
Goes down to Casey Maguire. Give it to Shackleton. Bring it back, and Ben Pomeroy was up there with the left shoulder. So was Bakuya. And Townsend running towards Cordoba and Morris, and he takes it inside the Sharks 30. He absorbed so much pressure last week against the Roosters in that win at Toyota Stadium. They have to absorb some pressure right here as Hayne goes to Porter. First time tonight. Had a good tackle once again, Stockport. Here's Robson. Ben Smith coming with him. Tupou's there to stop him with some help from Graham. 5 metres out, play number 5 goes to Robson, who will grab it towards Walker off the leg of a Shark. It's going to be the 0 tackle. They'll get 6 more. Only a couple of metres out from the line. Goes back to Hindmarsh, who gives it to Moi Moi. Charging hard and straight. A terrific tackle underneath made by Jason Bakuya. Here's Mitchell feeding it deep. Goes back to Maguire. Nice stop there by Morris on Shackleton. They've soaked up 3 plays in this bonus set of 6. Here's Maguire going out the back for Hayne. Knocked down by Pomeroy. It should be 6 more tackles. In fact, they're going to say...
Pull him off the ball.
There was a Parramatta player pulled off the ball as Morris dived forward.
It was Casey Maguire too. Maguire looking to get back to pick up that loose ball.
Let me get out of the way, Casey.
Was pulled back by the Sharks player.
Good signs for Parramatta with Chris Walker. He's already had a nice touch tonight, and he's going looking for the ball. Last couple of tackles in that sector, he was over on that left side of the field. He's playing right centre, but he was looking to link up with Jared Hayne. That'll be a combination that the Sharks will need to be aware of tonight.
Shackleton playing it. It goes to Maguire. Here's Hayne both on that left-hand side of the field for the Eels in these opening exchanges. Come back to Robson. Shows it to Hindmarsh. Shows it again to Moi Moi. He works Ben Smith into a beautiful gap. And the left forward will score the opening try for Parramatta. Lovely play by Jeff Robson. The dummies caught the eyes of the Sharks defenders. He only had to put it on the chest of Smith and he was in.
Well, the penalty was always going to put pressure on the Sharks' defence. A repeat set a little earlier really had the Sharks under the pump. Jared Hayne, there's the knockdown. And it was John Morris pushing past Casey Maguire. Beautiful ball play here by Jeff Robson. Waited, got on the outside of Anthony Tupou. And then it was Wade Graham who was forced to come in to make the tackle. Nice show of the ball on the inside. Wade Graham goes to Maguire. That opens up the hole for Ben Smith to slice through.
It was good work by Jeff Robson. He was able to skip to the outside of Anthony Tupou. And that forced Wade Graham to make a decision to come in. And when he left his position in the defensive line and Ben Smith hitting that hole, there was some space there and a good straight run. He was able to crash across and score a try. Luke Burke converts and the Eels will play from in front.
Yes, they will tonight. 6 points to 0 here in the 15th minute. Pressure had to tell eventually. See how the Sharks respond. Jared Hayne has been busy, most notably on that left-hand side. Stuart Mills, second game of his NRL career with a new 2-year contract in his back pocket.
He's going to have to send you to the middle of the
Shark until at least the end of the 2013
Stay behind.
competition. We'll Super impressive last week. The kick off, a deep one by Porter, taken by Maguire, and he gives it away to Shackleton, who winds up as he gets back to the Sharks' defensive line. Mitchell, late inclusion. Coming half, feeds it off for Moi. Strong run so far here tonight. Is averaging 133 metres per game so far this season. It's Taniela Lasalo. Must be a dead ringer at times for Jacob Loco. Loco has a little bit of height on him, but there's carbon copies out there on the left-hand side of the field. The kick is a deep one, but straight to Gordon. They'll bring it back towards the 20. And tackled there by Taniela Lasalo. We'll play it for Stuart Mills. Don't go anywhere there. Good work by Mitchell from Marker.
And a lot of open ground there, Anthony Mitchell. We found Isaac Gordon on the full. The wingers for the Sharks hadn't dropped back, so really picked out the man to play to grass that the Cronulla player was.
Down the short side they go. Here is Bukuya, gets a ball away for Tautai. His NRL career began as a winger. Still playing that role for the Sharks, but he's a back rower here tonight as Pomeroy gets slammed to the ground. It was Jacob Loco who rounded him up. Now Porter feeds it back for Graham, who's under all sorts of pressure. They've got him ringed in. Hindmarsh was there also, and off the outside of the boot, he puts a kick in, and Jared Hayne will bring it back. And they'll begin this set as a result of the pressure on the kick at the 40.
Great pressure from Parramatta, and they'll need to continue to do that all night. They were standing deep. They were looking for the two-pass shift and looking for an option maybe to run it. But Parramatta off their line. They were aggressive. They moved swiftly, and they shut it down. Good enthusiasm from Parramatta for the little parts of their game. They're working hard from Marker. The kick chase has been fine.
I've called move, you're doing nothing.
The discipline is good. Now they've earned themselves a penalty. And they're just starting to win this battle over the last 6-7 minutes. And that's how you build pressure on a football team. You win those little battles, and invariably, after that, it turns into points.
Yeah, just let him go.
Don't get frustrated. Go through your systems.
Wait here, wait for the kick. Wait for the kick next to me.
Well, we'll see if they can make that conversion right here to make it a double-figure lead as Moi gets the set underway. Played in front of the upright. Goes across to Maguire, gives it to Lasalo. Porter again, for some help there from Bukuya, has to make the tackle. Now Mitchell showing it, giving it to Robson. Coming up the back to Hayne. Away to Walker, who drops the ball. And the tackle of Matthew Wright.
Gee, that was a good tackle from Matthew Wright.
Offside, so scrum.
He jammed in on Chris Walker. He realised he couldn't slide in that position. They were drifting. You could see Colin Best was drifting. And Walker was going to score there if Wright didn't jam in. He was always going to have the momentum to go through the tackle. And he read it superbly, the young winger.
He's been struggling a little bit out here on the left wing. Matthew Wright with a knock to the leg, it would seem, in the opening minutes. A good decision right there to come in and shut down Chris Walker. So much possession already for the Eels, 61%. It's Colin Best, the skipper tonight. He said during the week he never wanted to play for the one club. He's had some travels in his rugby league journey to the UK, to Canberra. He's back the team he loves. He captains them tonight. Here's Tautai. Play it from Morris. Goes to Porter. Douglas. And close to scoring in the opening exchanges. Gets the ball away there to Bukuya. Looking for a fast play. The ball he does well.
Through the ruck.
Loco coming back over the top of him. Trying to get in his defensive position. Gives away a penalty. And now it's the Sharks' turn.
Well, they're looking for some leadership in the forwards with no Gallen, no Snowden. And Luke Douglas is providing that in the first 20 minutes of this game. There's a lovely offload there for his team as they go on the attack.
And they do that through Cordoba. Just inside the Eels 20. Plays it for Morris. He goes to Townsend. Look at Hindmarsh. Pounce on him from marker. There was no way he was going anywhere. Now Morris. On the right-hand side, giving it to Douglas. Hindmarsh watches up another tackle, make it a dozen for him in the opening 20 minutes of the game. Now Graham to the line. Tupou coming with him. Playing on the left-hand side once again tonight after being a right-side player for most of his time at the Sharks. Comes through the hands of Graham. Away to Porter. Now Bakuya stepping away from the tackle there of Maguire. We have Lasalo and Hindmarsh working back on the inside. Last play, Porter rubbering, looking for 6 more tackles. Birds
20.
With plenty of poise and patience.
Birds running it.
Watches it go dead, and the Eels would bring it back out to the 20. And here comes Luke with a head of steam up as well. Tapping it quickly. The Sharks were back to 10.
A late tackle penalty. It would have been nice to see the Sharks roll that one in the end goal and maintain the pressure on the Eels. And the kick's gone dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Now a penalty.
When you make a tackle, you can't go to his head and then leave your head there, okay? Make the tackle, get your head out of there. Doesn't matter, your head was on his head.
Good call. I tell you, I'm sick of seeing that too. Players burying their heads in the players, either his chest or his head. Tautai penalised for just that. Yeah, look. Get your head out of there.
That's turning back the clock. 2009 with a clamp down on that.
What was that one called? Every other thing had a name for it. What did we call that one?
The mask. I don't know. Well, think of one. Seen too many of them in the last season and a bit. As you said, they've made a bit of a comeback. Here's Robson playing it for the Eels. 40 away from the Sharks line. Goes to Hindmarsh. Here's the focus of the new iPhone application the Eels have put in play just tonight. Go to the iTunes store and log on and see how far Nathan Hindmarsh runs through the course of a game and how heavy his tackles are on the opponents. Here's Ben Smith. Just about nothing we don't know about the players these days. Twitter, iPhone applications, you can do it all. Now Robson kicking out towards Mills. Showed he could leap last week and he did a good job there. It wasn't a clean catch, but he fed it back to Pomeroy, but they'll take him into touch. And the Eels get 6 more tackles. Metres out from the Sharks line once again.
You could hear the referee say he was never held, and he wasn't. Jared Hayne got underneath Pomeroy then. Mills just scoops it back. Pomeroy upright. Hayne getting low and driving.
It was good work, wasn't it? They held him up and then they dragged him towards the sideline. The momentum wasn't stopped, and this places plenty of pressure now on the Sharks' defence. Young Anthony Mitchell out of dummy half, looking sharp.
Heads down, Para.
Nathan Hindmarsh packing into the hooking position. Mitchell at the back of the scrum passes to Hayne.
Here comes Robson once again, almost getting to the outside there of Matthew Wright, who was defending in from the wing. Gordon was out there. Now a charge at the line. Mitchell all good. He was stopped only a couple of metres away. Long ball from Anthony Mitchell going to Maguire for Shackleton, who couldn't handle it. And he popped it up and it was taken, swallowed in fact by Tautai very gladly. They needed that. They hung on. Well, nice passes, and that one hit Shackleton right on the chest, but with the defence under his nose when the ball came to him. He had a little peek and put it down. Here's Graham giving it to Douglas, bending the line back once again. Taking it for another carry of about 10 metres. He's made good metres so far here tonight. Oh, that was. Getting a chance to carry the ball forward was Broderick right in his first touch, and he was absolutely belted for his trouble. Now Luke Burke. Back towards the 40-metre line, grabbed there by Bakuya, and also right here it is again.
Oh, Anthony Mitchell really got a piece of Broderick right. Mitchell who knocked him into Hindmarsh. It was all good underneath. On the field.
Yes, he does. Atkins plays it. Goes to Jared Hayne with nothing happening. But I'm never saying he got him cornered. They play it 30 metres away from the Sharks line. It goes to Maguire. And the scamper comes back to Robson through Hayne. They'll wrap him up on the last play here. Another repeat set of 6. So many in the lead up to the try by Smith. Hayne's kick out towards the rookie Mills once again flying forward. This one might have come off Luke Burt though. In fact, they're going to say it came off Stuart Mills, and Parramatta will get 6 more tackles.
Well, they do well here, won't they? They will do well here to hold on, but they continue to bomb to Stuart Mills.
Yeah, I think it went over the top of Luke Burt. I don't know if there was a touch from Burt. Mills, yes, got the call right. Whether it was knocked on, whether you think it was or not, it certainly came off Mills and went out.
Wait for the ball.
The Eels will want to get through their set, if not score before.
Quick hands from Hayne across to Walker. He was grabbed by a leg there from Isaac Gordon, who once again was defending on the wing. All good. Working it up towards Morris. He's taken some stopping in his first couple of carries. Here's Hindmarsh in there at dummy half, feeding it for Robson. Hayne, good quick ball to the outside for Atkins. What a ball by Jared Hayne, and the Eels have their second try and a double-figure lead.
Well, they had to come up with points after all the pressure and all the football they've had at this end of the field. Jordan Atkins just stopped as he caught the ball, which held Matthew Wright up for just the split second that he needed. Robson out to Hayne, the long ball. Hayne loves throwing the long ball. Just a little jump as he caught that football. Meant that Matthew Wright had to stop also, and that's all he needed. Nice ball from Hayne. Just too close to the try line.
It's a strong part of his game now, Jared Hayne, isn't it? I mean, back in 2009 when he was the Dally M player, it was more his running game and his freakish ability to just push up in support around the middle and off the back of some offloads, really go hard through the line. But over the last couple of years, he's developed that passing game. He plays on both sides of the field. And some people have suggested that he may be a better 5'8" than fullback. Certainly injects himself as a first or second receiver at times into this Parramatta side.
You'd hate to see Hayne pigeonholed on one side of the field, though. And I know 5'8" don't always play that way. But just being in the front line, doing the work that would be required in defence as a 5'8", as Luke Burt has a slight hook on that one.
It stays at 10 points to 0. Jordan Atkins scores the first try of his stint as an Eel after moving from the Gold Coast Titans.
For me, Hayne is better suited at fullback, although he'd probably make a success of 5'8", because it just gives him the freedom to bob up anywhere. 5'8", he mightn't be able to do that.
I think we saw, we've seen him run a lot more from second phase play with Parramatta, but this year they don't have that second phase play in them.
Well, the offloads in 2009 on that run to the grand final, the offloads were extraordinary. Their second phase play was really what their game was built a bit.
But they've really simplified their game under Stephen Kearney, and he's turned into more of a ball player than a runner as such. I think that's one of the reasons.
Don't you turn into a ball player the older you get? Surely he's not that old yet to not have him run.
You have the dinner suit when you get older.
That's right. He's not at that stage of his career yet. Let's see him do plenty of running too.
Does leave it on a Cummaba. Now Hindmarsh. They get another penalty. Here they come once again. 2 tries in the bank already tonight and a healthy 10-0 scoreline. He's mounting against the Sharks. 5-2.
The white line, Sharks!
They'll have it here from the 40-metre line.
Wait for the kick.
Suicide Varve is out there. Shane Flanagan goes to his bench once again. Good all would bring it forward. He knocked Broderick right on the seat of his pants. Giving it to Lasalo. They'll play it just outside the Sharks 20. Matthew Keating is out there after missing a month and a half of football. Here is Hayne taking it to the line, getting away from Tupou, slipping a pass there to Chris Walker. He's just outside the 10. They've only used up 3 tackles so far in this set. Big spread once again back to the left-hand side. They've got plenty of width in their passes tonight, and they can go from sideline to sideline. Here's Keating going back to Robson, taking it to the line. Playing here on the last. The halfback caught on play number 5. They've got Hayno at first receiver. He grubbers towards Ben Smith. It was grounded by Colin Best. And guess what? They've got themselves 6 more tackles again at this end of the field.
Well, they've built some pressure. It was a lovely kick from Jared Hayne. But if you play sideline to sideline, on your second shift when you come back, you have to have some shape and you have to have some options. They just passed the ball, and they really didn't have much doing on that left side of the field. But your set is only as good as what your kick can produce for you at the end of it. And
behind the line.
they've been able to earn themselves a repeat set of 6. And you would think Cronulla will do really well here to hold them out. They've had all the possession, Parramatta.
As you can see, tackles in the opposition 20, 19-6 to the Eels at this point. Both of their tries so far have come off the back of repeat sets of 6. Now Keating to Robson. Turns it back underneath here for Ben Smith. The first of those tries. He's only 15 metres away. Comes to Robson. Wide ball again for Maguire, who puts an early kick on over the top for Luke Burns. It doesn't get much better than that. What a terrific kick, and the speed of Burt was absolutely blinding.
Well, with all the ball, they needed to come up with points, and they have. It's been a controlled performance so far from Parramatta. Only a couple of errors. The long ball out to Casey Maguire. Burt timed it perfectly. Another inch and he's offside. He needed that to get to the ball on the full, and Casey Maguire just lobbed it over lovely.
Well, they're really trying to test out young Stuart Mills with the ball in the air, and on this occasion, the crossfield kick for Luke Burt. The old professional Luke Burt with the young bull. And he snuck one over him on that occasion. It was great work from Burt. He called for it, he held his width, and Maguire's kick had to be pinpoint, and it was. Parramatta's leading all-time try scorer. Overtook the great Burt Kenny this season. What a great achievement that is for young Luke, not young Luke Burt, old Luke Burt.
Young compared to you.
In football terms,
sure.
He's old.
You are getting on these days. Of course, 1,557 points now. He moves past Graham Langland to be the 11th all-time leading scorer in Premiership history. This one right down the middle, make it 1,559. And the Eels doing it handsomely at the moment, 16 points to 0. What a kick by Casey Maguire.
And it's difficult, those type of kicks, when you're running with a bit of speed. And they obviously worked on that at practice. They knew it was coming. And you've got to pull it off in a game. You can run those types of plays at training, and they look great. But under a bit of pressure, they may not work.
Now the restart. Seals crowd, which has built there, I say it, since the kickoff even. It often happens on Monday nights.
It's a good crowd, isn't it?
What they're seeing so far. Plenty of pressure. Plenty of goal line dropouts they forced, and 3 tries off the back of them. There is Carl Webb. It's a big cheer from the crowd with his first touch. It's his second game for his new club as Maguire kicks from just outside the 40-metre line. It won't matter because it goes down the middle. It bounces away from Mills, an awkward one. It was coming back towards Loco and Bird, who were chasing hard down that left-hand side. Unfortunately, the rookie, 19-year-old, came up with it just in time.
Don't crawl forward.
Morris. Gives it to Luke Douglas, still working it forward. 10 carries of the ball and 22 tackles already tonight for the front rower. The Healy side find themselves 16 points in arrears. Here's Morris. Giving it to Varve. Take it towards the halfway line. And a nice tackle there by Matt Keating. Now Morris's kick from dummy half will be played at by Jared Hayne. It was going to stop inside the in-goal area, so he had to make a play at it. You've got the Eels pinned inside their own 20 for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, gee, a lot of football's been played up the other end. The Eels, through their man Loco, makes good metres too. They want to try and get a mistake out of Parramatta, put some pressure on their kick, try and start to win this little battle of field position, because it has been all the Eels so far.
50% of the game so far played at the Sharks' end of it. No surprise there. The only surprise, I guess, is it isn't more than 60%. Now Parramatta will take it beyond 60% because they're about to go on the attack once again.
Yeah, 6-2 the penalties. That's not helping the Sharks at the moment. A couple of times that they have been down the right end of the field, they've let the Eels off fairly easy. Parramatta really haven't had to put in a defensive kick so far tonight, and we're getting close to half-time.
Carl Webb launching himself at the Sharks' defence. They are inside the Cronulla 30 once again. Ben Smith coming towards Graham. They've also Tupou. Up 10 metres on the play. He'll play it for Keating. Shows it to Walgood and also Hindmarsh. Goes back to Carl Webb. Incidentally, Nathan Hindmarsh going past 5,000 metres a few moments ago. According to the iPhone application, here is McGuire giving it to Haynes, spinning in a tackle. Desperate to hold him up, they are. He gets some help there from Loco, but he can't get him across the line. They'll play it there. It comes back now through the hands of McGuire. Away to Robson, who kicks for Chris Walker. He'll win the race, and he gets it down as well. They're going to check it.
Tackle 6, check the offside, please.
Try number 4 for Parramatta.
Well, he's a try sneak, isn't he, Chris Walker? Tonight, he hasn't just pigeonholed himself on that right side of the field. He's gone looking for the ball on the left side. He's presented himself over there, and the ball hasn't gone to him. But tonight, I think he may have scored a 4-pointer in his return to Parramatta. Does he ground it? He's definitely onside. And he grounds the football. And that's a big blow against the Sharks on the stroke of half-time.
Well, the attacking kicks from the Parramatta inside backs have been fantastic so far tonight as the green light comes up. And you would expect a scoreline like this if you'd look at the stats. The completion rates, 9 more sets the Eels have been able to get through. Beautifully weighted kick there by Jeff Robson. Casey Maguire laid on the try only moments earlier for Luke Burt. This time it's his partner in the halves, Jeff Robson, who's been very good so far tonight. Robson passing from the dummy half to the next man really has spread this Sharks defence.
And it's the most points the Eels have scored in the first half of a game so far this season. The way the Sharks have helped them down the field with penalties. There's another try in them before the break here. Still 2 minutes to play. Burt adds the 2. It's a big score line now at half-time. 22 points to 0, as we said, with time to come. We'll wait and see what they can do in this next set of 6. They have looked sharp, and of course, you mentioned Jeff Robson. His future up in the air, given the fact that Chris Sando is coming to the Eels in 2012, rather. Where are we?
Right, 2012, that'll be next year. Sando, Roberts. Obviously, Stephen Kearney wanted to make a change and just tinker with the halves here tonight. They've looked good. Casey Maguire, plenty of experience. He's a natural ball player too, Maguire. Daniel Mortimer still developing that part of his game.
Gets a breather tonight as Webb works it up towards the halfway line. The Sharks need a breather. They'll get one in 90 seconds, but here come the Eels again through Robson. Runs towards Douglas, who took a chance of giving away a penalty there, and he cartwheeled the halfback through the air. Now Maguire going to Hindmarsh. By solid tackle there from Broderick Wright and also Jason Bukuya. We've got one more tackle left in this set. Keating giving it to Hayne. He'll chip it over the top. He was knocked to the ground. Legally, they say, though, nobody went off their line to take Jared Hayne out of the play. As a result, the Sharks will have it for the final set of 6.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's good to see Jared Hayne, though, looking to do something a little bit different. Chipping over the top there. Back 3 for Cronulla. Wouldn't have been expecting it to go high.
Took a chance of getting bundled into touch right there, but Gordon will play it. Now Best. As it back up towards the halfway line. They'll gladly get through this set of 6 and have a Gatorade and see what the coach has got to say. They'll get a penalty, though, before that. And they might have one crack at them here. Once they find the line, the siren will sound as Morris finds the line 30 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. See what they put on. Morris, it's back underway. Graham shows it, goes out the back to Porter. He puts one high in the air, a chance for Mills up against Hayne. Mills never got to the contest. Hayne concedes the tackle, and that'll do us for the first 40 minutes here tonight on Monday Night Football. It's all the Eels, 22 points to 0. We'll take a break and come back with the boys in the studio. There's still a lot more to come here tonight on Australia's Sports Leader. This is Fox Sports. Eels, massive possession advantage, 64% they had of the ball in the first half. They used it to good effect. Scott Porter with the kickoff. It goes down to Carl Webb to bring it back to get the second half underway. See if the Eels can continue on and rack up a scoreline here tonight. And the Sharks work themselves back into the contest. Mitchell Allgood was very good after coming off the bench midway through that first half. Those couple of carries were impressive and had the Sharks going backwards in a hurry. Now Hindmarsh. Play it for Matt Keating. Goes to Maguire, back on the inside there for Lasalo. Brings it up beyond the 40-metre line. They've got 2 plays left in this first set of the second half. Through the hands, Robson turns it back underneath to Nathan Hindmarsh, who gets another carry. Then over backwards, awkwardly in the tackle there. He has been injured.
Tackle 5.
It wasn't a good-looking one, the way he was bent back over that left leg. We'll see how he pulls up here, but
you don't often see him on the ground, Nathan Hindmarsh, and really did struggle to get to his feet to play that ball. There's the ankle caught underneath.
Wow.
Sort of twisted in between the tangle of legs and arms and then pushed over backwards. He's up.
Could have tweaked an ankle, a knee, just about anything in that left leg. But as you said, he's up and playing the ball, and no doubt he'll just jog it off. Full time, he won't feel a thing. There is Gordon. As they take it towards their own 20-metre line, Mills, in fact, gets beyond it. They certainly targeted him in the first half, didn't they? Pretty much all their attacking kicks going towards that far corner. Here is Gordon almost getting away there from Chris Walker, who made a very nice legs tackle to stop the raid right there. Now Matthew Wright. And you back towards the halfway line. Play it for Morris. Darts out from dummy half. With a shoulder there. A good tackle made by Carl Webb. And last, the kick by Porter. Hooks it down towards Jordan Atkins, another of the try scorers for the Eels in the first 40. Through that sort of 6. Got any mistakes, the Sharks, but boy, they need to get some chances. Repeat sets at this end of the field in this second half. And that away 6 penalties in the first 40, and off the back of it, the Eels reaped plenty of dividends.
Yeah, well, I certainly need ball, but when they have the ball, they've got to try and create momentum at the ruck. They need to work off the back of some quick play the balls. Oh, lovely pass there from Jared Hayne, which has been pulled up. Passing the ball forward. He's arguing with the referee.
Sorry, mate.
May have been a touchy's
On the
call.
kicks, mate, you can't go past the ruck. You're taking off heaps too early.
Yeah, it drifted forward, out of the hands forward. He's a bit stunned with that, Jared Hayne.
Looking almost as confused as he was when the New South Wales team was announced, as he admitted on Twitter. In the hours after the team was read out. As the preparations continue for Origin 1 on Wednesday night. Here's Porter. Played for the Sharks at the halfway line. Could have easily earned a penalty there. He was knocked to the ground second time by Maguire. Pomeroy playing it. From Morris, defeated off from Farve. A spin away there from the Hindmarsh tackle. Got an offload to Gordon, who goes towards Ben Smith. He takes him to ground, but good meters in the first few plays in this set for the Sharks. Douglas in the first receiver, doing a bit of ball playing, giving it to Tupou. It goes again. Hindmarsh trying to make another tackle. Here he is again. Give him 2 in that play. He deserves it. And Wallace, our stats man, nods. Is that an official 2 for one play, Wally? And they go to the short side. Here's Douglas. Getting an offload away himself with Colin Best. There are plenty of blue jumpers there. He's 5 metres out on the last. Comes all the way back for Graham to kick it across the field. A chance here for Mills. He catches, tips it back for Pomeroy to fling it back into the middle of the field. Knocked down by Broderick Wright. And I'll say knocking on towards the Parramatta line.
Well, they put the ball in the air, but you have to marvel at Nathan Hindmarsh's efforts so far in this game. And in the second half in particular, he's got heavy involvement, and there on the last tackle he was able to put pressure on Wayne Graham when he kicked the football. Just little efforts like that from Nathan Hindmarsh inspires his team, and he doesn't clock off. They're 22 points behind. Yep. Skipper, he knows what's required in that situation.
Here's a penalty against the Sharks.
It's too slow.
A little bit tough there. Too slow, according to Jason Robinson. In the previous set of 6, could have easily been one go the other way.
Well, he just got into a little bit of push and shove there with Mitchell Allgood. Luke Douglas, hand in the face, and he retaliated, which kept him on the player just that fraction too long. Douglas has done just about everything he can to try and get his side across the line. 3 offloads from Douglas. And that's as many as he's thrown all year.
They are short-staffed tonight as far as the forwards are concerned, the Sharks, of course. No Paul Gallen. He's on Origin duty, so is Cade Snowden. Jeremy Smith still out of action with injury. Now Keating getting out of dummy half. It bounces up okay for Jared Hayne to high step his way towards the line. It gives it to Loco. Taking towards the sideline, and eventually he stopped about 5 metres out from the Sharks line. It goes back to Hayne. It goes wider still. Robson showing it again. He's done plenty of that so far tonight. It's worked out okay for him for the most part. Maguire comes back to Hayne. He goes past Lasalo. The pass was out though in front of Loco, who couldn't reel it in. And the Sharks hang on there as we go downstairs to Andy Ray.
And some horrible news for Parramatta. Shane Shackleton hasn't come back out after half-time. He has got bleeding of the retina, and staff have deemed it so serious that ambulance being called, on his way to hospital shortly.
Well, that is a serious injury for a player who suffered a concussion last week in the game against the Cowboys. It's something that Wayne Pearce after the game might be able to tell us a bit more about, having suffered a couple of eye injuries during his career as the Sharks, well, they almost threw a ball back into their in goal, which could have led to a Parramatta try. In the end, they made a breakthrough. Wade Graham, who was galloping down the field, and picked up 25 metres or more.
Well, it was hands on heads for Scott Porter as he threw the ball along the ground. Wade Graham picked it up, beat the Parramatta players that had raced through. They're going to earn a penalty, which they desperately needed, and a terrific run by Wade Graham to get his side out of trouble. And trampled over a couple of Parramatta players on the way to making 30-odd metres.
Just doesn't do it enough, Wade. Run the football. He's big and he's strong.
Boys, here we are.
And he can offload in the tackle. I just don't think he does it enough for this Cronulla side. As, you know, when you get a halves combination, you have to test the defensive line at times. I think he's just been caught up in that mood of just trying to service his outside backs, whereas he can dig into the line. He's a real worry and a handful for opposition defences.
There's Douglas finding a gap, bursting straight through it as well. Went past Lasalo, and Allgood drags him down 15 away from the Parramatta line. It goes to Graham, goes in behind Tupou. Put out the back there to Isaac Gordon, but he was set upon straight away by Walker and also Robson. They show it one way, come back to the short side. Chance for Graham once again. There's nothing doing there. Stuart Flanagan says, who wants it? He'll feed it on the last, all the way back to Scott Porter, who'll kick across the field. A chance for Mills once again, up against Luke Burt, knocked backwards by Pomeroy. Tapped back again by Bakuya. Ducking away from the tackle is John Manor. He puts a kick in, and Walker's there to clean it up for Parramatta. And the Eels survive a little onslaught. He gets a bit of a rub on the head for his trouble there from Matthew Wright. It was warm and friendly, I think, if not unusual.
Certainly made an effort to push down on the head of Jared Hayne. They might be mates. Matthew Wright and Jared Hayne.
Here's Justin Horrow working it up towards the 20. Here it is again. There's a little rub on the head for luck.
Just needed a bit of oil on it.
I think you were saying, I love your new hairstyle.
Here's a new hairstyle. And he's had it before as Robson. Puts a kick in, bounces up off its point. Goes down to the man in question, Matthew Wright. Play it here just beyond the Sharks' 40. Still no change to our half-time scoreline. Richard Allgood, who has come from the field for Parramatta, for Justin Horrow to come on. There is Daniel Mortimer. In the 17, and the sides leading 22 points to nil. You have mixed emotions.
You're doing it tough. No doubt about that. Daniel Mortimer arrested for this one in favour of Casey Maguire. A bit of wraparound there from Isaac Gordon, who's been dangerous in the last 5 minutes, but he's put the ball down and given Parramatta a chance to work it out of their own end.
He's got some speed, Gordon,
he is lightning good. He is really quick.
He can go. He and Nathan Gardner supply plenty of speed at the back for the Sharks. Speaking of speed, here's Jared Hayne almost getting a chance to show us how quickly he can go. Grabbed only just there by Tupou. Also Colin Best.
That's better from Parramatta. Nice solid runs like that from Fui to create the platform in the middle, and Parramatta to go on and score more points in this game.
They'll take it forward through Horrow, who will play it about 25 metres away from the Sharks line. It goes to Robson. It comes across to Jared Hayne. Puts a ball on for Ben Smith. Already has one try tonight. We'll play it here on the last tackle. Keating. That was an awkward ball picked up here by Nathan Hindmarsh, who puts in a kick off the boot of Gordon, as it turns out, straight to Pomeroy, who brings it back into the field of play.
There's a sloppy end to that set of six by Parramatta. And this is where mentally they have to stay attuned to the game. They've got to keep being prepared to wear some bruises and play tough and stick to what they were training to do.
They're working a nice little combination. Jared Hayne and Ben Smith on the right side. It wasn't Hayne, but it was Robson in the first half that supplied the little ball for Ben Smith. But Hayne and Smith looking good on that right side. Big shot by that man we were just talking about, along with the skipper, Nathan Hindmarsh.
They combined well there for Porter now to kick his own 30-metre line. It'll go down to Luke Burt. So good speed to get to it on the full. He's lost nothing as far as speed is concerned over the course of his career, as we saw earlier tonight with the finish. The kick from Casey Maguire. It's flashed onto the ball. Now Keating with the Chris Walker. He was greased lightning earlier in his career when he was playing Origin football for Queensland. Still scoot himself as Maguire turns it back on the inside here for Moi Moi. Goes to Robson. Burst back on the inside. They'll play it here about 25 metres out through Lasalo. Robson again, grabbing this time for himself. Coming up with the ball as well. Going over the top, and Jordan Atkins will have the second try of his night. And once again, it was off the good work of Jeff Robson.
What a game he's having, Jeff Robson, the Eels halfback. Chris Sando coming to the club next year. Robson wants to still be a part of it, I'm sure. Lovely kick. Already came up with 2 try assists, one via a kick and one the pass to Smith. That work was beautiful there. The ball bouncing in between a couple of Cronulla defenders there. Somehow he got it in his hands and just pushed it out basketball style to Atkins, who crosses his for his second try of the game.
A lot of skill involved in that try. Firstly, just to get the kick in between defenders and then to regain it under a little bit of pressure, juggle the football, and then to pass it to Jordan Atkins. So it was well done from Jeff Robson. He's been the best player on the park in the first 55 minutes of this contest, and that will do his confidence the world of good.
He's been busy, Robson, and apart from the try assists, which are 3 now, he's been very clever with the ball, showing it inside, outside, put some nice passes on for some players to get them half through holes, which has allowed the Eels to continue to play quick.
The kick is between the uprights from Luke Burt to make it 28 points to 0. Terrific chance to help their forward against. Moving quite clearly towards the 4th win of their season. There's the grubber once again. It was a terrific job to be able to get that ball over the top. Picking it up in the one motion almost from Robson to Atkins. And Atkins, second try of his Parramatta career.
He had to juggle it. Really, he was forced to kick too. If we saw there, he looked to pass the ball. He went to pass it to his outside men who were all in front of him. Robson took it upon himself to just get it through the defensive line. Hayne has to run to get to that one on the full, and does. And Parramatta start their set from a good position, almost out to the 30.
Through Fui Moi Moi. To emphasise the point as far as the night that Robson is having. Before tonight, he'd had just 1 try assist for the season. Now he's picked up 3. Take his tally to 4 as Horro takes them almost back into Sharks territory on 3 plays.
They're falling off tackles now, the Sharks. They'll need to be careful. That's why we're talking about this Parramatta side. If they can be ruthless here, they can rattle up a score.
Gives it to Moi Moi, his second carry in this set. The set it is off the back of the points. Nice play here. They're 30 metres out from the Sharks line. This one's a repeat set. Put it high in the air. Some pressure on Isaac Gordon. Forget the repeat set, because coming up with it, Justin Horro is high above the pack to keep the points coming for the Eels.
I watched Horro. The minute that ball was kicked, Jared Hayne put it high, and Horro always looked like the man that was going to be to take it. You watch That's all he's got on his mind. He's watching where the ball is now. He had to get around Scott Porter, run a bit wide and run an arc to get himself back where he thought the ball was going to land. And terrific work, Justin Horrow, who has been in and out of the starting side this year. He's a good player, Justin Horrow, and that's a special piece of play there from him.
Yeah, and he also had a good carry in that set of 6. He nearly opened them up through the middle. And that's what you want from your bench players when they get on the field to make an impact straight away. Continue the intensity or lift the intensity if you're lacking in that department. That's his first one of 2011. He's a good player. And it was a high kick with Horrow. Eyes only for the football. He came down with it. He scored. And this will be a big 20 minutes for the Sharks. I mean, Parramatta, as I mentioned before, if they want to be ruthless, I think there's some points there for them to improve their for and against.
We'll get 2 more right here through the boot of Burt to make it 34 points to 0. Still haven't made it to the hour mark as yet. It was up there for a long time off that big boot of Jared Hayne. Advantage he has over Isaac Gordon. Clean catch. And Horrow diving in. It's hard to imagine this scoreline, given the scorelines we've seen so far this weekend. Games that have been disrupted by players being absent, of course, on Origin duty. I don't know how many more seasons we'll see of weekends where teams are forced to play with men missing in their lineup. It might be a rejigging of the season once the commission comes in.
Well, I've got no doubt. The Parramatta have been able to achieve this scoreline through their efforts with and without the ball. You look at their completion rate, 26 from 31, and they're challenging the Sharks team. Lovely ball there from Jared Hayne on to Robson, who then offloads it to Moi. And again, some easy yards. The contact from the Sharks is flimsy.
Here's the kick. Under Isaac Gordon. Luke Burt was steaming through, looking to put some pressure on the Sharks fullback, and the fact that he was called out of it, the officials who said that he was offside on the kick. More pressure coming up there on the fullback. There's Wade Graham again. Might have heard you, Laurie. A couple of carries from inside his own territory. They had so little of the ball at the other end of the field to see what they can do in attack.
That's a frustration carry, that from Wade Graham. He wants to inject himself into the game. He shouldn't be doing those type of runs. You take your hat off to him for doing it because he wants to get involved. It's when he stands a little bit wider, receives the football out in front of him, he's going against less defenders. That's when he'll worry the opposition.
Flanagan's kick went straight to Jared Hayne. Now Bird, away from dummy half. Reaching it up towards the 40. Well, inside the final 20 minutes of this one. Jacob Loco working it out in dummy half, taken there by Tau Tai and also Douglas. Now a quick switch. The expanse to the right-hand side, and Lasalo almost getting away from the tackle there of Flanagan. Had some help from Cordova and certainly needed it. He's inside the Sharks 40 when he plays it. Maguire putting a kick in. It'll be too deep. It'll bounce beyond the dead ball line. The Sharks will bring it back out to their own 20. He's been solid tonight in his new role as far as this season is concerned. Casey Maguire getting a chance out there in the halves.
Well, he's a footballer, Casey Maguire. I think you could play him in a number of positions in the football side. You could play him as a lock, you could play him in the centres, and you know what you're going to get from him. You know, he knows what his role would be. In the halves, it's a bit more of a passing game. I'm sure if he was made to play a running game in the centres, he'd be able to do that. He's very professional, he's been around, he's won a grand final with the Brisbane Broncos.
Come the Sharks 30 away from the Eels line. Flanagan out from dummy half. And, put it up in the air through John Morris. Some pressure here on Hayne. Luke Douglas was the first of the Sharks down there, but he overshot the runway.
Well, they haven't had many chances, the Sharks. They have tested Jared Hayne. That's 3 or 4 times now Hayne has taken a high ball under a lot of pressure. Certainly handled that part of the game well.
Atkins playing it now. Walker, and should be on the 30 for Parramatta. Keating still handling things from dummy half at the moment. Good run. Taken back towards the halfway line. Play it there through Webb. Here's Hayne. Just blasting one down the field. That looked destined for the dead ball line. In fact, it got there eventually, but it looked like it was going to get there quite comfortably. Almost well, we've done our bit. We'll just boot it dead, one of those plays, and let you work it away from the 20.
Well, they've got the right idea, Parramatta, except they're having too much weight on the kicks. I think the plan is to continue on putting the ball down the other end of the field and making Cronulla work it off their own line and not to get too fancy late in the tackle count. Just the execution is not there at the moment.
Now Morris goes to Graham. Here's Tupou. Hasn't had too many chances out there on the left fringes tonight. Play it through Gordon. Comes back to Morris. Showing it, working feverishly towards the line, but they weren't falling for a dummy there. Hindmarsh and Keating had his number. Here's Graham to kick. He just wanted a little bit of backspin, with overspin if anything else. And Hayne will bring it back out. And the Eels are doing it pretty nicely at the moment. Just you get the impression maybe happy with 34 points, and they might just grind the rest of this one away. You'd like to see, as far as a spectacle is concerned, see them go on with the job here and see if they could crack 50.
Yeah, you'd think if they continue to get through their sets, and talking about sets, they were had 9 extra sets as Tupou comes up with a big shot there on Lasalo. That has shifted out to 11 extra sets. Little wonder the score is 34-0. That's a big difference in possession.
Pretty good completion rate to this point as well. 29 of 34. Del Horo, who getting slapped across the chops there for his trouble. No whistle from the referees. Parramatta still 7-4 advantage as far as that tally is concerned. The kick coming back towards the touchline. Again, they're happy to see it go out of play to use up the clock. And the Sharks will have the scrum feed. 10 out from their own line.
Yeah, just practicing getting through their sets in a tight game. This is the way they want to play. I just assume that's the message from Steve Kearney, is to rehearse for bigger and tougher games down the track. Don't lose our focus, even though we're 34 points in front with 15 minutes to play. Continue to work and build on our game.
Anthony. The scrum means your head goes in here and you pull them tight.
Perhaps a warning. Referee Jason Robinson. The referees were, for a couple of rounds there, pretty brutal as far as the setting of scrums were concerned. Taking chances a month or so ago, maybe much longer than that. But slipped back into that, trying to get a nice, clean scrum away at the moment. And Graham goes to Douglas. Boy, what a game he's had. Terrific numbers, 38 tackles, 15 carries now for the game.
Hasn't been off the field. Hasn't been rested.
Here's Morris. Nana will play it. 35 away from the Parramatta line. Back to Morris again. It's a bomb up off the outside of the boot. A bit of spiral on it, in fact, as it turned out. Went down to Atkins. No real pressure there on the winger. Nice, comfortable night there in the back three for the Eels. Chris Walker to work it up towards the 20. Here's Hayne. You'd like to see him burst through the line at some stage, or just put something on, trying to put something on. It comes to Justin Horrow. Good speed as well. He's away. He's got Burt backing up on the inside. He goes to Gordon, runs away from the fullback, straightens now, goes towards the uprights. He's inside the Sharks' 20. Nice spread by Carl Webb to Justin Horrow to have him steaming down the field. Here is Hayne. He's only a couple of metres out. We'll play it for Anthony Mitchell, who is back out there now after the stint by Keating. Here's Maguire turning it back on the inside for Horrow, who's looking for a bit of petrol, you'd think, after the run he made. He certainly wasn't expecting the ball on that play. Mitchell again goes back to Robson. A grubber. It sits up off its point as well. Gordon is trapped. And Parramatta gets 6 more tackles. They've worked another goal line dropout. And of course, they scored plenty of tries in the first half off the back of repeat sets. There's the ball by Carl Webb. He attracted 2 or 3 defenders, and Horrow was away.
He did well, Horrow, too. He saw Bird on the inside, just couldn't get a ball to him through the dummy. Made another 10 or 15 metres. Got back to the centre of the field. They were in good position. Robson's kick was spot on again. Isaac Gordon was there to clean it up. But as Gordon took the ball, Walker and the man that kicked it, Jeff Robson, were there to take him. Another set for the Eels.
Chance for Carl Webb to wind up and bring it back towards the Sharks' 30. A couple of conservative sets the lead up to this. They're back on the attack now. All good. In the middle of the field, playing it for Mitchell. He comes up the back, it goes through the hands of Maguire. It comes to Loco. Up there by Pomeroy and also John Morris. Go back to Maguire again. There's Robson. There's somebody to come with him. He was quite ready on that particular play, so the halfback has to take the tackle. Back to the left. Goes straight to Hayne. He draws a man, gives it off to Loco, but Pomeroy was up in his face when he caught the ball. They've got one more tackle right here. Horrow feeds it back to Robson. Will kick across. Chance for Atkins up against Matthew Wright. He made a nice catch and does well to stay in the field of play. Good hands.
It was great hands there by Matthew Wright. It was a good kick from Jeff Robson. And it hasn't been a real strong point of Parramatta's this year, the attacking kicking game, but tonight they've been able to score some tries out of their attacking kicking game. They've been able to force dropouts, and that builds pressure and that builds points. So it's an area of the game that they're improving, and they'll need to continue to improve on as the season starts to unfold.
I call it moving, you're not doing a thing. 16.
Because all the good sides in the competition, when they get in your 20-metre zone, their last play options are very good.
And now the kick for line hasn't found it. Knocked back in by a leaping Jordan Atkins, and here comes Jared Hayne giving it to Nathan Hindmarsh. I'm sure a moment where they thought about a counter-attack from inside their own territory off the bonus set of 6. Instead of being an attack themselves, it's Parramatta who are coming right back at the Sharks. Until this moment, where Justin Horrow just loses it in the tackle. And a rare mistake by the Eels, who've now completed 32 of 38. Here's Atkins again.
His feet in the right position, made sure he didn't touch that line before he leapt. Kept himself in the field of play. Justin Horrow with the football. Work of Luke Douglas over the top. Just forces it loose. Keating getting that finger strap. That is the dog bite finger, I would assume.
Has there been another player to miss a game, to miss games of football through a dog bite? Do we know of one?
I can't think of one off the top of my head. Yeah. That was the finger, wasn't it? It was a finger that got bitten by the dog or broke.
It was quite a nasty one when you're out of action for 6 weeks. Here is Matthew Wright. They play it inside the Eels 40. Tupou at the 30-metre line. Brad Moran missed some games once through a dog bite. That was on Tamana Tahu. Now Graham going across the field, sending it back on the inside for Talima Tautai. He will play it here just outside the 20. Flanagan waits at dummy half. Goes to Graham. Nothing doing there. He's wrapped up comfortably right by Robson. Flanagan again. Goes to Morris on the last to put a kick in here for Mills. He had a chance to come up with it. It went to ground, and Loco, they're going to say, has spun his way along the ground back into the field of play.
It was a commando roll back in the field of play by Jacob Loco. Very clever. Luke Bird in between. There he is, he's down and just keeps rolling. Well done.
Here's Hindmarsh. They go wide, good hands, and it goes to Lasalo, who is away. He's got Walker on the outside, Bird on the inside. Go you good thing, Luke. Bird will score underneath the black dots. A terrific night for the veteran in front of an adoring Parramatta crowd, and they make it 38-0.
Good ball by Jeff Robson. He's been heavily involved in a lot of Parramatta's attack tonight, Robson. And just passing the football in Lasalo. Hitting the hole, showing good speed for a back rower. And Luke Bird pushing up in support in the middle of the field. He races away to score. And that's a good try from inside their own half from Parramatta.
Good support play from Burt, who's come from the other side of the field. He was hovering around the middle, but loomed up on the inside from the left wing. And you're right, he's lost nothing in terms of speed. Absolutely nothing. Moved away from Chris Walker, who was on support on the other side.
It's been a professional performance by Parramatta tonight. Nice and controlled. And they've built this victory through pressure and controlling the football and taking the right options and making the most of their opportunities. And that's what they would have spoke about coming here tonight.
He's racking up quite a tally, isn't he? Luke Burt, a couple of tries and a stack of goals so far here tonight, 40-0. Still have 5 minutes exactly remaining on Monday Night Football. And it's a big round of applause, as you'd expect. As we said, one of the real favourites. The fans there on the Western Grandstand. Here's the kick by Matthew Wright to get us back underway. Put down by Fui. Don't tell me it's play on. Well, finally,
not got in goal. Go on, drop out.
Somebody blows a whistle.
No, just drop out, boys, drop out.
It took quite a deal of time there. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, it was a low, flat kickoff that no one could get to on the full. Hayne did his best, but he couldn't control it with his boot. And it was always going to be difficult for Moi. He didn't know what was going on. He was waiting and listening for a whistle. He didn't hear it. And he decided to charge into the defensive line. The referees pulled it up. But Hayne from underneath the sticks. That is 58 on the fly.
Good eyes. Comes to Vave. Plenty of room to wind up. They play it here just outside the Eels 30. Can they crack them? At least one try here tonight. The last win by the Eels here against the Sharks was 74-4. Memorable night. The Sharks reached a couple of players short from memory. Jamie Lyon might have scored 5 tries in the same night. Here is a try. Getting across to score it is a former Eel in Talima Tautai. Well, they won't be beaten to 0 here tonight, the Sharks. They get across the line. It took until the 77th minute. Nice spin and a move at the line by Tautai.
Yeah, good footwork by Tautai, former Eel. Just off a short pass from Anthony Tupou. Got through the tackle of, I think it was Jeff Robson. Chris Walker it was. Robson was the man that went to Tupou. Tautai too close to the line there for Jared Hayne to pull him back.
Take a little something out of tonight's effort. And the kick is good to make it 40 points to 6. Matthew Wright adds the extra 2. Defending Glum bench, as you would expect for the Sharks, missing so many of their big guns here tonight. Moving on for a game in round 12 next Sunday afternoon. And we're down there in Melbourne at Amy Park to take on the Storm.
Wait for the kick.
Of course, we'll have their stars hopefully backing up for them. It will prove to be, you would think, a difficult period for the Melbourne Storm, who've travelled very nicely to this point of the season. But with the big 3 involved in Origin, campaign ahead, certainly stretch their energy levels and their reserves. Looking ahead, we'll see the Eels in action again, live on Fox Sports as part of Super Saturday this week. They head up the F3 to Osgrid Stadium to take on the Newcastle Knights. A healthy crowd there, you'd imagine, of course, with the campaign to add as many members as possible to the Newcastle Knights ranks. And certainly you can get some cheap tickets at the moment, can't you? If you live in the area, you'd be crazy not to get out there to watch your side go around against the Eels, who have put themselves in a little bit of form here tonight, certainly with the ball in their hands. They haven't been tested too much defensively by the Sharks. A little bit of form at the back of this outing tonight as far as their ball play is concerned. Douglas, a little bit of ball playing himself, giving it to Morris, who was grabbing to play on, but the referee was having none of that. Now Vava. Go that way. He was thinking about firing it out to the left-hand side and somehow lost it and got it back to play it on the last. The last chance in the game. The kick will go down to Luke Burt. Bring it back and then fire it across to Jared Hayne. It's Anthony Tupou. He was able to spin away from his attempted tackle. Been solid tonight, Jared Hayne, without being spectacular. Touches early in the game, determined to get very involved. And, it won't take too much for him to see action from New South Wales at some stage of this series, of course, should there be an injury in the back line. But tonight the Eels, far too good for the Sharks. They've beaten them 40 points to 6.
Comprehensive by the Parramatta side. Desperate game for both teams, both sitting on 8 points. The winner goes to within 2 of the top 8. The loser now really doing it tough for the Sharks. It's only 1 win in their last 7. The Eels, well, they almost had a win up at Dairy Farmers after a handy lead. They couldn't hold on to it, but they've played a very controlled game of football here to come away big winners. Some outstanding performances individually, and you would expect that too, the way they dominated possession. The halfback, Jeff Robson, 3 try assists. Very solid all-round game.
Nathan Hindmarsh clocked up plenty of metres, no doubt, during that win, as he always does. Broken a little 2-game losing streak off a win here at home 3 rounds ago against the Gold Coast Titans. Let's go downstairs to Andy.
And a very happy Jared Hayne. That was, well, best performance of the year, probably.
Yeah, by far. You know, our defence was something that, you know, we're really putting pressure on this week to, you know, to maintain it. So, you know, pretty unlucky at the end there with, you know, them getting the try, but, you know, very a very good performance by the boys.
22-0 at half-time. You could have gone mad and gone after points, but you maintained your game plan. You've played a pretty structured game. Exactly what the coach would have wanted.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've had a lead and it's sort of, you know, the other team's come back. So, you know, we're really cautious of that. And, you know, I was speaking about it at half-time. We just had to come out there and, you know, be solid, be patient and, you know, get away with the win.
Tough week for you, but it's ended in a smile.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is the best way I can, you know, sort of get my, you know, obviously emotions back up, and it's always good winning at home for the, you know, for the fans.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
And we were going to talk. This is live television. Let's go for a walk. Chris Walker, get over here. We're live. We can't wait. Well done, old fella.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Try and Para colours. Great victory. Little bit of belief.
Yeah, I think we needed a victory like this, just to lift the spirits of the boys. We've had a tough 10 weeks, and you know, we've let some games slip in the past. But I think the boys stuck really strong tonight, and there's a bit of steer to our defence, and you know, a bit of self-belief in that second half. To Cronulla's credit, they came out pretty good in the second half. So you know, we stuck in there, and should be good. You know, should be good coming into, you know, a couple more games before the bye.
Second half in particular, you grounded out. It's a type performance a lot of these young blokes are going to learn that you can build a platform from.
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely. I think we've got a lot of young guys that you know, were in first grade for the first time, and I think this sort of win will lift their spirits and sort of get them behind the older guys. 7 tries to 1, 40 points to 6. The blue victorious tonight, no doubt Wednesday night as well. No, definitely not. If there was a shade of maroon, I'd have that belief, but you know, the boys looking pretty good up there, and can't wait for the game. Actually, it's going to be a good game. I think Ricky's got the Blues in a good frame of mind, and good to see the boys run around.
Well done, fella.
Cheers.